When it comes to Southeast Asia, the Philippines stands out for a surprising reason. Its economy hasn't grown by tapping into oil and gas like many of its neighboring countries. While countries nearby have leveraged oil and gas to fuel their economies, the Philippines has one of the least developed oil industries among the ASEAN 6. To put it into perspective, the country produces only about 9,650 barrels of oil per day, yet consumes around 429,000 barrels daily. That makes the Philippines the largest importer of petroleum products in the region, a stark contrast to its oil-rich neighbors whose economies thrive on oil production. So, why is the Philippines producing so little oil despite being located in the same resource-rich region? This question becomes even more intriguing when you consider that the Philippines is sitting on a potential gold mine. It's estimated that the country has untapped oil reserves worth a staggering $26.3 trillion, hidden within its 200-mile exclusive economic zone. The largest of these reserves are found at Reed Bank and the Mischief Reef in the contested Spratly Islands. According to reports from both the U.S. Geological Survey and China's Ministry of Geology and Mineral Resources, the Spratlys could contain as much as 17.1 billion barrels of oil. Meanwhile, recent oil and gas discoveries have caught the attention of global powers like the U.S., especially in the Sulu Sea, a part of the Celebes Sea. The hydrocarbon deposits here could exceed that $26.3 trillion estimate, potentially dwarfing Kuwait's 13 billion barrels of oil. Kuwait, a global oil powerhouse. It's clear that the Philippines holds immense untapped potential. But with so much wealth beneath its waters, the question is, how long will it remain untapped? This immense oil potential could completely change the game for the Philippines. Imagine a country no longer dependent on expensive oil imports. This could drive the Philippines out of poverty. In fact, it could even turn into an oil-exporting nation, addressing the relentless rise in gasoline prices that consumers feel every week. There's already progress on this front. The country's oil and gas sector is getting a much-needed boost, particularly with the redevelopment of the Cotabato oil field, which originally ceased operations back in the early 90s. This move is part of a larger effort to revitalize the stagnant upstream oil industry. While the Cotabato field may only have around 6.2 million barrels of recoverable oil, it's a step toward reducing the need for imports. Production is expected to start as early as 2024, and focus is also shifting to the redevelopment of the nearby Malampaya natural gas fields before they are expected to run dry by 2027. Malampaya, located 50 kilometers west of Palawan Island, has already been a powerhouse. Since its inception, it has produced 1.9 trillion standard cubic feet of gas and 75 million barrels of natural gas liquids, providing energy to 5 major power plants in Luzon, the Philippines' largest island. Together, these plants generate a combined capacity of 3,200 megawatts, enough to keep the lights on for millions. But the story doesn't end there. There are believed to be other undiscovered oil deposits across the country, both onshore and offshore. Promising areas include the northern province of Cagayan, the Ragay Gulf in Bicol, offshore Mindoro, northern Cebu, and the Cotabato Basin. In 2018, the Department of Energy and a service contractor, China International Mining Petroleum, made a significant inland discovery minus 27.9 million barrels of oil in Alegria, Cebu, with about 3.4 million barrels recoverable. These developments are just the beginning of what could be a game changer for the Philippines. Could this be the dawn of a new era where the country not only provides for its own energy needs, but becomes a key player in the global oil market? Recent discoveries point to a huge potential for natural gas in the Philippines, with about 9.4 billion cubic feet of natural gas reserves uncovered. An impressive 6.6 billion cubic feet of that is recoverable, making up nearly 70% of the total. Among these promising areas is the Liguazon Marsh, a vast stretch of land covering 2,200 hectares across the provinces of Cotabato, Maguindanao, and Sultan Kudarat. It's estimated to hold a whopping 3.4 trillion cubic feet of natural gas and 4.8 billion barrels of crude oil. In a bold move earlier this year, the Department of Energy gave the green light to a Mindanao-based company, SK Liguasan Oil and Gas Corporation, to start exploring Area 9 of the Cotabato Basin. However, not all ventures lead to success. The Benham Rise, located off the coast of Aurora Province, once believed to have petroleum potential, turned out to have no viable oil reserves. But that doesn't mean it's a bust. Rich in minerals and aquatic resources like gas hydrates or methane, this area holds a different kind of treasure. These gas hydrates are typically found in the deepest parts of the ocean, where extreme pressure and freezing temperatures keep them stable. In fact, gas hydrates are considered to be a more abundant hydrocarbon resource than the combined reserves of all the world's oil, natural gas, and coal. If they could be harnessed efficiently, they might just become the next big thing in the energy sector. Other promising fields are also being identified, especially within the country's undisputed territories, like the Sulu and Sulu Seas, located in the southern part of the Philippines. But despite all this potential, the big question remains: why hasn't the Philippines fully capitalized on its natural resources? The answer is complicated. A major reason is security challenges and ongoing geopolitical disputes. The country's most significant reserves, like the Reed Bank, Mischief Reef, and other basins, are located in the contested waters of the Spratly Islands. This group of islands, along with associated reefs and banks, sits in the highly disputed South China Sea. It's a region claimed by multiple countries, including China, Taiwan, Malaysia, Vietnam, Brunei, and the Philippines, making it a hotbed for territorial conflicts. Back in 2011, the Hydrocarbons Technology Industry Journal spotlighted the Philippines as a rising star in the global oil exploration scene, putting it alongside Argentina as a hot new area for energy discovery. 4 key regions caught their attention: the Spratly Islands, the Sulu Sea, the Sulu Sea, and the Philippine Sea. It's no secret that some of the country's richest, yet untapped petroleum reserves lie hidden within these unexplored areas, especially those under the BRSM. One study, conducted by East Hawkmaster in collaboration with IAG Development Consulting Incorporated, zeroed in on 2 of the most promising regions: the Sulu Sea and large portions of the Cotabato area. According to the Philippines Department of Energy, the offshore Sulu Sea Basin alone is believed to hold an astonishing 203 million barrels of oil equivalent, while the Cotabato Basin has the potential for 159 million barrels of oil and already confirmed gas reserves of 29 billion cubic feet. And unlike the contested Spratly Islands, both of these areas, the Sulu Sea and Cotabato Basins, are safely within undisputed Philippine territory. Just last month, the Department of Energy called for urgent gas exploration in Recto Bank, an area controlled by billionaire businessman Manny B. Pangilinan. On top of that, there are more potential exploration zones in regions like the Visayas, Bicol, and northern Luzon, which are expected to be tapped in the near future. The Philippines is sitting on a treasure trove of natural resources, right within its 200-mile exclusive economic zone. With the current administration pushing hard to unlock the country's energy potential, it's clear that the Philippines is making bold moves to ensure long-term economic growth and energy independence. But here's the million-dollar question: can the Philippines fully tap into its jaw-dropping $26.3 trillion oil reserves despite the thorny territorial disputes? Only time will tell.